to heaven. So
There's so many things you can talk about in terms of hating sin. Stealing, lying, dishonesty.
Wars, the excessive violence,
lying, deceiving, covetousness.
All the natural disasters that are plaguing our earth.
Well, I'm trying to be ready and walk on that right path and hope that one day that when God calls, that I'll be there.
Okay, wonderful.
All work may have some degree of difficulty, but I believe farming takes the cake. If it wasn't for unforeseen troubles, if it wasn't for animals eating down the crops, if it wasn't for pests and bugs, if it wasn't for fungus and viruses, if it wasn't for broken down equipment, if it wasn't for vandalism, I believe farming would be such a breeze.
And guess what? Those are just the external factors. There's also physical factors. Arduous, back-breaking tasks. Long hours spent doing the same motion of bending, stretching, reaching, pulling, lifting heavy loads from sun up until sun down. Farm work is very hard work. In this episode, we are at Mr. Warner's farm. How long have you been in the farming business, sir?
The way I can answer your question, fair answer. Most of us were born into a farming atmosphere, you know. Daddy have goat, piece of land. So he kind of in the people blood from back in the 60s and beyond.
So it was generational.
Yeah.
What time do you arrive at the farm?
We don't work by the clock. So it's like, if you have to be there for 5 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be there. But generally, kind of come in when you don't get everything started out at home. It's a day-long thing. This is the old people, and maybe they come early and go home.
Okay, so if you come when the sun is up, what time do you leave here?
That's relative to what you have.
So what kind of crops do you grow here?
I'll generalize. Just wherever the season bring, you work with, because say you wanted to plant cassava all year round, it might work out.
Oh.
So it's best you have a couple of them that you know you juggle.
So what do you have?
Cassava, tomato,
okay.
potato, and others in the mix too. But all not come at the same time. So you might, after tomato, say, let me try some eggplant.
Oh.
You understand me?
Yeah. All right. Can you just briefly tell us what are the steps to bring a crop to harvest?
Okay, you procure all when you can. You're going to need the seeds. So if you want tomatoes, you get tomato seeds. If you look for a special variety, all that. Prepare your land. And the seeds are going to take a while to germinate and come to the stage where you know they're ready for going in the earth. So all that you.
So after you put them in the earth, it's hands off, or do you have to?
No, you got to play where the work really start, because water and care.
So that means you would, after put them in the ground, you would have to water them, care them.
While you're putting them in the ground, you'll be watering them at the same time.
And weeding them.
Weeding come after.
Okay.
And the land don't prepare before they go in, so everything cleans. So when you start to water now, weeds come. So not just the plant to grow.
Okay.
Grass can grow too. You understand?
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, so you have to care for them after you plant them before you actually get to harvest. Fertilizing the program, all that. But timing essential with the fertilizer too. And the spraying, because let's say a couple of days over the time for spray, you might not crop again.
Oh.
Yeah, like overnight you can lose crops through worm, them kind of stuff.
Wow.
When you get bad, you get bad.
I did not know that. Last question. How do you feel when you have gotten a healthy and good harvest?
Well, let me see. Old people say, reward sweetens labor. That answers your question, right?
Pretty pretty much. If I said I hated hard work, you probably would conclude that I'm lazy. But why shouldn't I hate hard work? Hard work was thrust upon mankind because of sin, and I hate sin. Farming is the original work, indicted and sentenced because of sin. In Genesis 3:17-19, God told Adam, "Because you have listened to your wife and disobeyed me, cursed is the ground because of you. In sorrow you shall eat of it all the days of your life." All these weeds, all this work. God told Adam, "By the sweat of your face you will eat bread until you die." I could just cry about that. No matter how much you hustle, there will always be hard work left to do.
Not so, my friend. Don't despair. From the moment man sinned, God and his angels has been working arduously, tirelessly to secure a bountiful harvest from this planet Earth, so that sin and hard work can retire forever. When Jesus planted his feet on this sinful world, he labored for the downtrodden. He toiled all night in prayer as great drops of blood, like sweat, streaked down his face. He carried the load of and even fell under the weight of the cross in my place. Then, at great pains to himself, having to be cut off from the Father, even for a moment, he yielded his life for you and for me. Now, if that wasn't enough, he refused to rest in the grave forever, but rose early the Sunday morning to labor some more for our salvation. Today he ever lives to bear our burdens and intercede for us.
After all that heaven invested in you and I to make us the most desired crop, do you think that only earthly farmers are the only ones looking forward towards the time of harvest? Of course not. One day, very soon, we're told in Revelation 14:15, another angel came out of the temple and said to he who was sitting on the cloud, "Take your sickle and reap, because the time to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is ripe."
Are you ripe for the picking?